Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and you're watching A Lawn Care Life. Today I'm going to talk to you about a cheap and very effective combination of products that you can use to control weeds in your lawn. So let's get started. All right, let me go over just some basic terminology for you that might be elementary to some of you. But you know, when you hear people talk about controlling weeds in their lawn, you'll hear them talk about pre-emergent herbicides and post-emergent herbicides. Basically, in layman's term, a pre-emergent is trying to prevent weeds, where a post-emergent is trying to get rid of your existing weeds, okay? So I'm gonna show you a combination of one pre-emergent and one post-emergent that you could use on your lawn that's also good for many warm season grasses and cool season grasses. You want to check the label to make sure that your grass type is safe for these products. But what I like about these products is they're very good and effective, and they're also very reasonably priced, okay? I buy them from my supplier, which is Harold's. You can also buy them online, or at some, if you have a place that sells herbicides, you can buy them there, not the big box stores, but you know, some other place, or I'll put a link online where you can order them as well. So let's get started talking about these two products and how they're going to affect your lawn. Okay, so here's the products with their respected measuring cups. The first is Resolute. It's a product I've talked about before. It's also known as Barricade. Resolute's the generic form of Barricade. And you can see here on the label it has the active ingredient prodiamine. Now this comes in different forms. You can get it in a granular form if you want to put it out with a push spreader or some kind of chest mounted spreader. You can do that if you don't have a tank. It also comes in a liquid or some wettable format where you can put it in a tank, and it's cheaper that way. But like I said, if you don't have a tank of some sort, you can get it in a granular form. It might be something like a 0-0-7 with Barricade, or 0-0-7 with prodiamine, and it'll be probably in like a 50-pound bag or something like that. So this is the pre-emergent, okay? This is what many people are using to prevent crabgrass in your lawn. Again, it works on warm season and cool season grasses. Check the label to make sure it's good for your grass type. I know me dealing with warm season grasses, you can use it on Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, St. Augustine. And you know, you can use it in the spring and in the fall to help prevent your cool season weeds in the fall, and in the I say spring, you really depends on the weather. I mean, we start applying it right after New Year's Day and go until we believe the crabgrass germinates, which that has to do with the weather and the soil temperatures. But typically in our area here in Alabama, it's sometime, you know, in March, early March, sometimes late February if it gets warmer. And in a minute, I'll help you figure out how to calculate how much of this to put out on your lawn. But this is the product that's going to do prevent so many weeds in your lawn. It's very good at preventing crabgrass. I mean, honestly, if you put this out at the right time, you have virtually no crabgrass. It's a very inexpensive way to prevent weeds in your lawn. Putting this out at the right time is one of the best things you can do to prevent weeds in your lawn. Now, the second product is a post-emergent, meaning getting rid of existing weeds. You see here it's called MSM Turf. The active ingredient is metsulfuron. MSM Turf comes with that handy little measuring cone. You can see the measuring cup I have with the Resolute. But the thing about MSM Turf, I mean, when I say it's cheap, it is super cheap, and I can help you figure out in a minute again how much to apply and show you just how cheap it is, or at least give you an idea. But when you combine these two products on your lawn, you're not only preventing future weeds, you're getting rid of existing weeds. And you can read the label to show all the weeds that it prevents and all the weeds that it can kill in your lawn. But the MSM Turf, you know, just about any kind of broadleaf weed in your lawn, it's going to work well on, you know, clover, dandelions, henbit. You know, I don't know what kind of weeds are in your area, but it's a very extensive list on the label of the weeds that it does control. It's also a product we use a lot of times if we're trying to control bahia grass in a lawn. I know some people have a bahia grass lawn, but for us, we try to get rid of the bahia grass. The MSM Turf works well on that in the summertime. All right, so let's talk about mixing these products. I'm going to go over a little bit of the math to help you understand. Now, I understand if you don't have a spray tank, which many homeowners don't, then it's a little bit of a disadvantage, okay? And that's why I was saying I would recommend probably getting the prodiamine in a granular form that you can put out with a push spreader. It would need to be watered in, whether it's in whatever form it's in. It needs to be watered in, but you can, you know, wait on it to rain. The MSM Turf, you can apply that with a backpack sprayer or something like that, or a handheld sprayer, but it can be difficult to mix in small amounts, and I'm going to show you that as well. It would be better if you had something larger to mix it in, and then you could then put it into a smaller container to be able to spray it, you know, like a backpack spray or something like that. Let me show you a little bit about how to apply these products, or the amount to mix them. When you read the label on Resolute, this particular kind, it's going to tell you that your annual maximum for the year to apply on a lawn is 2.3 pounds per acre. Now this comes in pounds because of the form in this. You can see there's 5 pounds in the jug. So it's basically telling me I can use just a little under half this jug per acre on a lawn. Now you might say, well, my yard's not an acre, and you need to measure your yard and figure out how big your yard is. But let's just say that your yard is 10,000 square feet after you measure it. Again, this also works if you're doing a granular product. Let's say you look on the bag and it says a bag covers 10,000 square feet and your yard is 10,000 square feet. Well, that's pretty easy math. But if your yard's 5,000 square feet, then you'll know, okay, I can use half the bag. But in this situation, I can use 2.3 pounds for the year. But let's think about that. I need to use half of that in the spring and half of it in the fall. You know, actually before the warm season weeds germinate, like I said, which depends on your soil temperatures, and before the cool season weeds germinate in the fall, which again depends on your soil temperature. So for me here in Alabama, I mean, I would like to put this out. Again, I start in January with customers, but you know, sometime at least by the end of February, I'm trying to have this applied, and then again maybe sometime in September. So if 2.3 is my annual max, if I divide that in half and say let's put out 1.15 in the spring and 1.15 in the fall, well, then you gotta decide, you know, you want to do all that in one application or split applications. But let's just say we're going to do it all at one time. So I'm going to put out 1.15 pounds per acre in the spring, 1.15 pounds per acre in the fall. Thankfully, I've got a handy measuring cup here, which is nice. But then, you know, it comes down to calibrating your sprayer and things like that. And I understand, again, many of you don't have a spray tank, but we're trying to figure out how much to put in there. So let's say that we've got 50 gallons in the spray tank, and we've calibrated our sprayer so that for every 1,000 square feet, we're spraying 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. That's based on how fast you walk and how much water it's putting out. And that can be true whether it's a big tank sprayer, something mounted on a trailer, or a handheld sprayer, whatever you're using. Let's say you're using 2 gallons for every 1,000 square feet. Okay, so I'm going to divide that 50, because that's how many gallons of water in the sprayer. I understand you don't have a 50-gallon handheld sprayer. That'd be hard to carry. But 50 divided by 2, because you're spraying 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. And then we're going to divide that by 43.56, because there's 43,560 square feet in an acre. That's telling me that at that particular rate, 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet, with 50 gallons of water, I can cover 0.57 acres. Now, we've already said that we want to use 1.15 pounds of this per acre, okay? So I'm going to take that and multiply by 1.15 pounds. And what do I get? 0.66 is the amount. So if I was one to use 50 gallons of water, I would put in 0.66 pounds, roughly there on the measuring cup, and put that into 50 gallons, and that would be applying that at 1.15 pounds per acre, which is what I would be trying to do. And let me just say, to cover an entire acre, most people don't have an acre yard. You know, 10,000 square feet is more like a quarter of an acre, actually less than that. I mean, it's very, very inexpensive, you know, when you apply it that way. It's more expensive to use it as a granular product, but also can be effective that way as well. Now let's say you got MSM Turf here, metsulfuron. It comes with a little measuring cone, which is handy, but it takes such a tiny amount of this to be effective, and we're actually usually applying it at a quarter of an ounce per acre. Okay, now on the label it might tell you, depending on what kind of weed you control, you're usually somewhere between a quarter of an ounce and a half an ounce. If you look at the little measuring cone, you can see here a quarter of an ounce is somewhere between halfway between 0.2 and 0.3. You just put that much in there to cover an entire acre. And you're not necessarily, a lot of times you might use this just to spot treat weeds. So using the same math before, let's say we've got 50 gallons in that tank, and we've already put our prodiamine in there, and you can mix these together if you want to. I mean, that would be the smart thing to do if you have the capability to do it. But again, we're at 50 gallons, it's spraying 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. You're at 0.57 acres, and you want to multiply that by a quarter of an ounce per acre. You need 0.14 ounces in 50 gallons. So you can see where that is. In between the 1 and the 2 there would be 0.14. That would be in 50 gallons, and that's spraying at 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. Well, if you're using a little handheld sprayer, you're most likely spraying a lot less than that. We typically would say, mix it at somewhere, like let's say you had a 1 gallon handheld sprayer. You want to mix it at 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet, or maybe even 1.5 gallons per 1,000 square feet if you spray heavy. But let's just say 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet, and at that rate, that's why it becomes difficult to mix in small batches, because like I said, 0.14, that covered 50 gallons, and that was at 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. So if you were at 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet, it's going to be double that. Anyway, it can be difficult to mix in small batches, but in larger batches, like I said, if you're going to put 50 gallons in a tank, mix with a rate of 50 gallons of this, then you mix them both together. It's not that difficult. You got handy measuring cups, and it's a very effective combination that is cheap. Oh, and I forgot to talk to you just about how cheap this was. So let's say that metsulfuron, I don't know what this costs. It comes in an 8-ounce bottle and a 2-ounce bottle. I'd have to check the prices, but I mean, this is really cheap. I don't know if that bottle is $80. It might be less than that, I'm not sure. When you figure out the math, I mean, it basically comes out to around a nickel per 1,000 square feet, okay? So that means for a 10,000 square foot lawn, it's gonna cost you about 50 cents to cover a 10,000 square foot lawn, and it's going to get you very effective control. Now, is it going to kill every weed in your lawn? And no, it's not. I mean, it's not going to kill a bunch of your grassy weeds and things like that. The Resolute can help prevent some grassy weeds like crabgrass, not Dallas grass and some of the other tough weeds out there. But I hope the video is helpful. I'll put a link if you want to purchase these online, or if you have a supplier, then you can go through them. Hopefully this helps you understand a little bit of the math, understand maybe some terminology if some of this is new for you. I know for many of it, it's review and stuff you already knew. But leave a comment below. Was this helpful? Do you have any questions? My name's Jason Creel. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, or go check out the videos on the channel. You can click the Lawn Care Life link. They'll take you to my channel homepage, or click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.